There are few things in life, if any, that are perfect. But in 1903, when Theodore Roosevelt stood here overlooking the Grand Canyon, he said, "Leave it as it is. You can't improve on it." Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Sewell. Today on Arizona Highways, we begin at the Bright Angel Trail. Millions of visitors come to the Grand Canyon every year because, in the words of President Roosevelt, it is the one great sight every American should see. Ancient tribes referred to the Grand Canyon as the House of Stone and Light. The elements that make it up are earth, wind, water, and fire. But you have to add light because light brings the canyon to life, creating an astounding beauty that leaves you awestruck.
The geologists still debate how the Grand Canyon was formed and therefore exactly how old it is, but the consensus right now is that it's probably about 5 million years old. That is, it's been cutting through the ancient rock, which is 250 million to 2 billion years old. It's been cutting through it for about 5 million years.
Michael Anderson is a Grand Canyon archaeologist. He says the erosion process is an astonishing constant.
So we have what we call unconformities in the canyon, where certain layers were there at one time but have been eroded totally away. That type of erosion and buildup kind of creates the interesting different colors that we have here at the park.
From Lee's Ferry to the Grand Wash Cliffs, the canyon is 277 miles long. From rim to rim, it averages about 10 miles in length, and it's about a mile deep.
It not only changes constantly from erosion, but time of day. This kind of landscape is so affected by the movement of the sun going across that if you look at the canyon from one point like we are here right now and look at it an hour from now, it's going to look considerably different. The play of shadow on the rock, yes, it's constantly changing.
Major John Wesley Powell became the first person to lead an expedition down the Colorado River. Soon after that, prospectors came in, but found nothing. After several years, many of these same prospectors became trail guides for tourists. Then in 1901, the railroad arrived, bringing more tourists to see this massive natural structure and impressing presidents like Teddy Roosevelt.
What Teddy did is he used the 1906 Antiquities Act several years later to create Grand Canyon National Monument in 1908. That's a presidential proclamation that does not have to go through Congress to set aside lands mostly for the public enjoyment.
Throughout the years, the first sight of the Grand Canyon has had the same effect on people. It can leave you dumbfounded, speechless, and even frightened.
When I came out here from Indiana, when I first saw the Grand Canyon, I almost passed out. So I lost my breath, is what happened to me.
Park Ranger Diana Pennington remembers that day vividly.
And I pulled up to the first overlook point, and on that day it was Yavapai Observation Point. And I just strolled up to the canyon, like any other normal day, and I don't think I was really ready for what I saw. And when I got to the rim, I just literally lost my breath, and I had to sit down. They don't have things like this in Indiana.
But in order to get a feel for this wonder of the world, you are going to have to stay longer than the average visitor.
Most people visit just the overlook points and then leave. The average stay of the park visitor is 2 to 3 hours. I would encourage them to try to get away from some of the more popular points, go for a walk or a stroll, and that everybody can understand that you don't have to hike to the river and back to experience what it's like below the rim.
In recent years, there's been an increasing push for policies helping to protect the canyon. Everything from reducing flights over it to reducing the number of people who visit. It is, after all, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it should be preserved for generations to come.